Hi everybody, Wave 3 News Meteorologist Ryan Hoke here with your Hokey video blog for Sunday morning, May 17th, 2015. Thank you so much for joining us here on this end to your weekend. We're talking storms again today, and they could be quite widespread as we go throughout this afternoon and this evening. We'll talk about it in just a second. Outside this morning, fairly calm on our Kentucky One Health SkyTrack network of cameras from Shepherdsville. Got the clouds in place, but just enough sunshine to make it a fairly nice morning. It's a muggy one as well. Let's get to today's Hokey weather fact. We're talking about the fact that the southern hemisphere generally has slightly milder winters than the northern hemisphere. The reason for it being there's a lot more ocean in the southern hemisphere than the northern hemisphere. That ocean heats and cools very slowly, has an effect on the air temperatures as well. They don't heat or cool as quickly. So when you've got more ocean and less land, you get more of those moderation in temperatures. So the winters aren't quite as severe down there. If you want a place to move to that still has seasons, but the winter's not so crazy, consider maybe portions of South America in the southern hemisphere. There you go. You've learned that this morning on today's Hokey weather fact. 60s and 70s across the area this morning. A few showers moving into our southern counties at this time. It's really going to be eastern Kentucky that's affected by the showers this morning, though. What we'll have for this afternoon, though, are thunderstorms. In fact, this gust front that raced out ahead of the dying line of thunderstorms out in Missouri this morning is going to provide a focus for these thunderstorms as we go throughout the noontime and thereafter. And that little kick of lift will definitely give us some of those thunderstorm chances that'll be a little higher in some spots than others. And really the thunderstorms increase as we go into this evening as well. Big old line of thunderstorms moving through Arkansas, Texas, southeast Oklahoma, flash flood warnings through that corridor down there where you see those green boxes. Now these storms pretty much dying off, but they may stay together as they move through Tennessee. We'll have to see again how many outflow boundaries and gust fronts we can get from these storms that could trigger additional thunderstorms for us, those fresh storms, as we go throughout this afternoon and this evening. Enhanced risk of severe weather across the upper Midwest, Minneapolis, down toward most of Wisconsin. And we've got a slight risk snaking down all the way toward, looks like the Arklatex region down there of the Mid-South and the Deep South as well. For us, just a marginal risk of severe weather as we head throughout today and tonight west of Louisville. The Buy Local Fair is going on today. I went to this last year. It's really cool. It's at the Water Tower from 12 to 6 today. I'd suggest getting there early. Stay there, at noon for a few hours if you can, and then bug out of there because we're going to have those storms really beginning to blossom for a lot of the afternoon and the evening. It's not going to be storming the entire time, but we'll have waves of storms moving through. And again, you'll just want to get out there early if you want to get outdoors for really any event today. Here's what happens by 12:30. Notice these storms really blossoming. This may be that gust front. Not quite sure. Different models are painting different timelines for this, but generally sometime between noon and 2 o'clock is when they say this gust front will be moving through that we saw out in Missouri. That'll be moving through to generate more of these storms. And again, most of these storms will not be severe. They're just going to be strong in some cases, but really just run-of-the-mill storms. We don't have the upper air support to make prolonged storms that would go severe like that. But, we could get an isolated warning out of this. That's always possible with these setups, as we saw yesterday with the tornado warning in southwestern Kentucky. I don't think that'll happen today. That's really, really off-the-wall sort of thing. Severe thunderstorm warnings would be the kind that we would likely see if we see any at all, maybe just one or two. Otherwise, as we go throughout 3:30 this afternoon, storms continue to blossom. Futurecast tries to take this complex of storms, almost looking like a little bow echo here, by 7:30 through our area. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what will be the case is most of the energy is focused on a decaying line of storms, another one of these, moving through our area as we go throughout midnight and beyond. These could have the gusty winds across our western tier of counties, from Seymour to Jasper to Bedford. This area right here, we'll be watching for just some gusty winds, likely sub-severe, so 40 to 50 miles per hour as they do move through. By Monday, I think we'll be mostly rain-free by Monday morning, but I do think we could have just a few of these isolated to scattered showers across the area. Won't be a huge deal. By Monday afternoon, the heating of the day and a cold front beginning to approach will trigger more scattered thunderstorms as we move throughout that time frame. Again, none of these are expected to be severe as they move through. In fact, they'll be out of here by Tuesday with a nice stretch of weather coming up after that. Here's that severe storm threat from the Storm Prediction Center. It is a marginal risk, basically from just west of Seymour down toward Jasper, Paoli, Bedford, west of Salem as well. That's for tonight as that decaying line of thunderstorms moves in after midnight or so. Some of the forcing aloft will be trying to get in here, but I don't think it'll be in here enough to get widespread severe weather by any stretch of the imagination. Here's a 7-day breakdown for you. Sunday, 85 degrees. That's today. Of course, course, on your Monday, we're at 82. Tuesday looks great. 77. The cold front will have moved through, but we'll still have some of the warmer temperatures in place. By Wednesday, it'll be cooling down to around 70 or so, 71 here in the city. And of course, by Thursday, that's when we're looking at the Wave 3 News concert series at the KFC Yum Center. I've kept a 10% rain chance in here, but I think we'll probably need to take that out. Partly sunny skies expected. Temperatures up to 70 by 1 o'clock. And by Saturday, we're at 81. Next weekend, the end of next weekend, could be quite stormy. In fact, I'll be storm chasing during that time, so we'll be able to talk about both of these here on our next map. A reminder that, of course, my storm chasing trip does start on Saturday. I'll be traveling out to Oklahoma City, and we start chasing on that Sunday, the 24th. We'll be chasing until the 29th, so we got about a 6-day chase out there all across the Great Plains. We'll end up in Denver, Colorado. This is the 8th annual storm chase for me. I've been doing this with Storm Chasing Adventure Tour since I was 17 years old. Can you believe that? Of course, they hired me on out there to be a severe storm forecaster and, of course, do their website as well. So I get the privilege of being out there trying to experience all the thunderstorms and bringing that experience home to you on the Wave 3 weather blog, Wave 3 News. I'll try to do some hits on TV from our storm chase, and of course Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, constant updates, pictures, videos, you name it. And just the explosion of social media really over the past year with mobile video in terms of Twitter videos, in terms of getting Instagram videos, and really Periscope. It's amazing. So I'll be able to do some Periscope Q&A sessions from the road out there. They'll have to be short because of mobile data restrictions, but certainly we'll be able to do those, and that'll be a lot of fun. I want to encourage the interactivity of this so that you folks at home can get a real taste of this, because it's a lot of fun. It's very educational, and my goodness, some of these storms are just beautiful. All right, the 23rd at 6 o'clock. I'll be in Oklahoma City, touching down just a couple hours before this. They could have quite the severe weather setup out there, unfortunately, on the day that we're not chasing, which, hey, that happens. It happens a lot, actually. It happened last weekend, too, certainly with the group that I chase with. You'll see that at 500 millibars, which is roughly about, I'd say, 32,000 feet aloft, we're going to have this big belt of winds from the southwest. You need that southwesterly wind component. You need those fast winds of the jet stream overhead to get the severe weather going. So they certainly could have that across portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, even down toward the Red River here in Texas. And so the thought may be, oh my goodness, we're going to miss it all, right? Well, the latest data is suggesting this may linger into Sunday as well. The Euro, not quite as crazy about it. It has been in previous runs, and I should say the GFS and the Euro have been flip-flopping between Sunday being an okay chase day and Sunday not being a good chase day at all. We'll have to see how that works out, but I think it could be a good chase day because generally the trend is this far out. We're still about a week out in our forecast time frame here to slow things down, because we're going to have this big upper trough across the lower portion of the United States. It's going to be kind of a low amplitude one. It'll be kind of thin, but it'll have the wind energy required. And as it moves through, sometimes they do slow down because the data can't estimate the speed correctly. So we're hoping for that, certainly as storm chasers. Now, as we go throughout Sunday, this is the latest 6Z GFS model output. We've still got some of those winds down here, southwesterly wind component. And this color table doesn't show it good enough, I don't think, but there even could be enough wind down here toward the Red River to get some storms going down there. Would they be supercellular in nature? Possibly. We'll have to see how much of a dew point, how much moisture is left behind, but the latest model is suggesting there would be enough moisture left behind, some sort of frontal boundary moving through during the afternoon and evening on your Sunday there. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to see how that goes. Now, we'll have to watch for Louisville, too, as we go throughout your Sunday, because it looks like this wind belt's going to be traversing the lower Ohio Valley. That could create some strong to severe storms out in our neck of the woods. You'll see here as we go throughout the 25th, which, of course, is your Monday, we could have the same setup there. Again, that trough trying to move through very slowly. This may get delayed by a day. So remember, we're looking a week out. We're trying to get specific for storm chasing purposes here, but in terms of the overall forecast, it's hard to get that specific that far out. But really, everything kind of ramps down in the plains. This will likely be on Monday, a transition day for us. We'll probably go from Oklahoma up toward Texas, Nebraska maybe, because we'll have to set up for Wednesday, which could get interesting. Because we've got a little bit of a shortwave moving in. And really, for storm chasing, you don't need an outbreak of severe weather. You don't need monster high-risk days or moderate-risk days to get a good storm chase. You really just need a little kick in the atmosphere and the right winds and the right moisture and, of course, the right instability as well to kick off some thunderstorms that are chaseable, that are just fun to chase, and that may produce a tornado, but more so, beautiful storm structures. So this little shortwave moving through here might be interesting for this neck of the woods down there. We'll try to see how that works out. May have an additional big trough of low pressure try to move in as we go throughout the end of the week, maybe putting northeast Colorado and northwest Kansas on the map for us storm chasing. We have to end up back in Denver, of course. All right, that's it for the Hokey video blog today. I'll be back here for Wave 3 News at 6 and 11. See you then.